Hello, my name is Sharon and this is my story. My mum is from the far south coast. There were 7 of us. I had 4 brothers and 2 sisters. I remember I had a very sad childhood because my mum and dad were alcoholics, bad gamblers. My dad was very violent towards my mum. So my childhood was very traumatised. We used to just wander the streets and wander the bush, you know, to get away from the violence and the drinking. My mum and dad gambled on the horses and the dogs and the trots. We went to many different schools because we travelled from town to town, and we had to go to the school wherever we were stationed at. My friends at school, you'd just get to know them and then you'd leave and go to another school. When I went to Nowra High School, I lived with my uncle and my auntie. They helped me get a school certificate. I came to Sydney because I wanted to get a job. I wanted to be a secretary. And I wanted to learn typing and switchboard. I got into NBC, Metropolitan Business College, which is a girls' college, and I started learning typing, switchboard, contometry, and shorthand, but I failed at shorthand and contometry, and I passed switchboard and typing. I moved in with my cousin at Coogee. By this time I was 17. Then I met my first boyfriend, and then we were together for a few years, and at the age of 19 I had my first child. I thought he was going to stay with me forever, but he walked out of my life when she was 3 months old, and I was a single mum. I was doing voluntary work for the local Aboriginal Land Council, and then a position came up with the welfare, with DOCS, Department of Community Services. So I applied for that position and I got it. And I worked as a DOCS worker, a district officer, for almost 10 years. My mum was the lady that took me to the TAB and taught me how to write my first TAB ticket. Win and place on a horse that never even won. Never even came anywhere. But we used to go to the TAB every Wednesday and every Saturday, and I was 19 at that age. I wasn't hooked straight away. It didn't become progressive until I got into my 3rd marriage. Yeah, I was at Macquarie Uni, and I was doing an associate diploma course when I worked with DOCS, and I met my 3rd husband, and we had 3 children, and that marriage was very toxic. But I persevered with that marriage right up until My youngest son was 22 years old, and then I walked out. But during that time, I was depressed. I was full of anxiety. I wanted to escape the life that I was living. My ex-husband was very controlling. I had to do everything that he told me. And it broke my spirit. I walked out. I just packed my car up one morning and went and moved in with my sister when my son was 22 years old, my youngest son. I waited for the children to grow up. I persevered and helped him rear my 3 children. And then I moved out of the marriage and just lived by myself. When the children left and went to school, I was a very lonely mum. I was at home by myself. So I went to the club with some friends, and then they introduced me to the pokies. And I got hooked on the pokies. And because my ex-husband knew that I was a bad gambler, he wouldn't give me any money. So I had to find my own ways of getting money. I knew I had a problem because I was going every day. And I had an elderly auntie who was very well off. And I used to do things like take her shopping, take her to the doctors, take her to visit her friends, take her to wherever she wanted to go. And every time she jumped in my car, it would cost her $50. I would charge her $50. So, you know, that's how another way I supported my addiction. When I left my ex-husband, I came into some money, but I started to gamble that money. And before I got my settlement money, I was seeing a counsellor to help me with my gambling, and he was very good. My daughter found him, and he supported me to stop gambling. He helped me stop gambling for 6 months. And then I went back out and started gambling again. On the last day of my gambling, I remember my daughter Simone, my daughter Anna, and my daughter Bronwyn would say things to me like, "Mum, what are you doing? Why are you gambling all your money away? What, you're going to lose your home. You're going to lose your car. You're going to lose everything if you don't stop gambling." And my daughter Bronwyn said, "Mum, why don't you go and get some help?" And I said, "Well, give her father." I said, "Give me his number and I'll ring him and see if he can help me." So I rang him, and when I rang him, I said to him, "I've got this problem with gambling. Can you help me?" And he said to me, "Sharon," he said, "I can't help you with your gambling." He said, "I can't tell you how to stop gambling." He said, but what I can suggest is that you go to GA. He said, go to Gamblers Anonymous. And he said, ring Gamblers Anonymous hotline and get to a meeting. That was on the Saturday. But on the Friday before the Saturday, I was gambling really bad. I was wanting to win money, wanting to prove that I could win a lot of money. You know, I wanted to win money. That was my aim, to just keep on winning a lot of money. I never won anything. If I won something, I always put it back. On the Friday, I was in the band club, and I went broke. So I rang a friend who I thought would give me some money, and she put the money into my account, and I had to leave the band club, get in my car, drive down Queen Street of St Mary's, look for a park, get out of my car, walk into the bank, line up at the teller, get my money out, walk back to my car, drive back down Queen Street, get to the band club, look for a park, and I did that 3 times in a row, chasing my money. That's how crazy gambling is, you know. And that's when I realised that I had a big problem, and I had to do something about it. So I rang Gamblers Anonymous hotline, and I went to my very first meeting. And there were 4 people there, 2 men and 2 women. And I listened to their stories. And after the meeting finished, this old gentleman came up to me, and he said to me, he said, Sharon, he said, he gave me a booklet, a yellow booklet that's in my bag. And they read it every time you go to GA. Anyway, he said to me, he said, Sharon, he said, get to other meetings, he said. He said, try and get 90 days up. And I looked at him and I said, I can't do 1 day, let alone 90. And he looked at me and he said, please listen to me. He said, this is a 1 day at a time program. He said, if you do today, again tomorrow, and not gamble, he said, you will make your 90 days. And do you know, I really wanted to stop gambling. And he said a lot of other things to me as well. But that was the most important thing that he said, was get 90 days up and get to other meetings. And anyway, I went, and I went to my second meeting, which was at Penrith, and it was a birthday meeting. A lady was celebrating 22 years of not gambling, and another lady was celebrating 17 years. And I couldn't believe that that was true. I thought, no, they're lying, you know. But that lady that had 22 years up became my sponsor, and she showed me how to live my life 1 day at a time without gambling. I kept going back to meetings because they suggested that I get to other meetings. I go to meetings Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Because it's a step program, there's 12 steps of the program. And the first step is, 1, we admitted we were powerless over gambling, that our lives have become unmanageable. Well, for me, I was very powerless over gambling, and my life was a mess. So it was really unmanageable. And step 2, came to believe in a power greater than myself could restore me to a normal way of thinking and living. And that power is, if you don't believe in God, you got to believe in something greater than yourself. And because I'd already believed in a power greater than myself, I had God in my life. So God changed my life and made me see, and that step says, came to believe in a power greater than ourselves could restore us to a normal way of thinking and living, and you work on that step. You write about it. And step 3 is handed my will and my life over to the care of this power of my own understanding, and then step 4 made a searching and fearless moral inventory of myself. It goes on and on and on. It's just so beautiful. The step work is what keeps you going. You put the steps into your life every day of your life. I never expected to live the life that I live. I was always thought that I could find someone to make me happy, to live my life peacefully, contentedly, joyfully, just being so contented throughout life. But it's only now that I've found peace, joy, happiness, contentment, and love. Something I've learned about myself is that I am worthy today. I am beautiful. I'm a good person. I love who I am. I enjoy life today. I can live a good life without gambling. One of the things that I enjoy today is being with my grandchildren, having lunch with my friends, learning the value of the dollar, not wasting it, not throwing it in the machines, not throwing it on the horses, not wasting 1 cent, but spending it to the best of my ability. I am so grateful for the friends that I have made in GA. I am so grateful for just having my family back in my life, because I used and abused them badly when I gambled. And just having them in my life gives me so much joy. You gotta be committed. You gotta surrender.